Hey guys, Tracy P. It is August 9th, 8 p.m. I shared part 1 of 4 last night. Now I wasn't sure which order to go in on this one. I think I'm going to go with what I was going to do as the third video as the second. We're picking up in the July 2nd service in Graham, Mike Kekel spewing over the pulpit. And let's just see what he had to say. I'm going to share this first part because it's kind of humorous to me because it talks about not lying.
And we would be children of obedience, servants of righteousness, solid, 100%, never tell a lie.
Well, that leaves Mike out. And you know what? People lie, but just go ahead and apologize when you realize, well, he realizes already, like when he called someone wanting to be like the prostitutes of the world. That was not a truth. That was coming out with something without getting his facts straight. Let's proceed.
That woman is that one that writes about that is one of the most despicable, low, dirty humans, if she's even human.
This is picking up from the clip I shared last night. I'm the wicked Pelfrey woman, and he goes on further here. So yeah, that's me.
That I've ever had to deal with, because she gets her big nose right in the middle of people's business. And here we are, we're spending our lives, we're giving our lives.
You know what? There are people who brag about being in the military and all kinds of places for so long, but what does time in service or time in grade mean? Doesn't mean anything. And he's trying to say he's given himself. He's giving his lives. That's what he's doing. Carrying furniture, consultation, 3 jobs that he all gets paid for, and rightly so. Come on, man. We know better. You're a corporate CEO, and that's it. He's going to go on and say some outrageous things, including me breaking up families, which is interesting because I described last night in the other clip, which I played last July, about how I came to have my big nose in the business of this family, which was already broken up. And I'm going to show you that. But he's the guy who took over the keys from the other guy, R.W. Davis, the founder. He personally broke up families. So has Mike and his wife, inserting themselves where they don't belong. So it's very rich that he has to say this, but he has to. He has to. He has to save face. He has to show a reason why that guy is still sitting in the congregation. So he's just saying words. He's trying to be scary and mean and intimidating. And he's trying to come across authoritative to those people there who some may not even know the whole story. So let's just press on. I'll let you listen to the rest of what he says without comment. And the way I'm going to do that is by not re-listening to it. And then I'm going to play a clip from last July. And that will have proof in the pudding, and all the documents I'm going to share were submitted, happened all before I even knew about it. And my knowing about it came out of concern, as I said last night, for that young lady and her kids. Mostly for the kids. 5 of them. 1 disabled. Why nothing about those children? Jesus wanted the children to come unto him, right? Was there a beckoning from these leaders to those children? We're going to see in some documents and some text messages. He says in this one clip, they're there to restore families. He's trying to restore families. Did you know that? Wow.
We've been in ministry almost 50 years, giving ourselves to help people and nothing else. Not for personal gain, as some would say. No, to help people, to encourage ministers to develop themselves. And someone like her comes along and sticks her nose right in people's business, breaks up families, messes up minds of people, destroys innocent people. That's the most disgusting, low-life kind of person you can ever meet that would do something like that. And most of the time, she doesn't have the facts, doesn't know what really happened, and publishes it as though it's truth. Those kind of people have a special place. That's the thing about it that gets me. We're trying to restore families. We're trying to encourage people to forgive and to put their lives back together, and she comes along, gets right in the middle of it, and destroys it. And I'm the one that's wrong. Okay, you say so. So I always tease with him. How's my favorite predator today?
Hey guys, Tracy P here. This is going to be a bunch of attachments that were publicly filed for Cherie Cemento in her divorce case and protective order against Steven Cemento, the son of the Cementos, who have been around forever in NTCC, as if that means anything. Let's start reading this stuff. If you're not familiar with this situation, I do have 2 other videos. The last one, I asked the question if the leadership of New Testament Christian Church is guilty of covering up abuse. And I'm specifically talking about this situation, but it counts for all situations that have been similar to this. Let's go ahead, and I want to start reading these. I want to say ahead of time that some of these texts have dates and some of them don't. It doesn't really matter. You're going to get the flavor of what's going on just by the different texts. This first text is from one of Cherie's children to Kinson. Hi, sir. My mom said I can talk to you whenever I have a concern, and I have a big one right now. Steven has been very mean to my mom for a while now. He watches videos about husbands sending their wives to see Jesus. I never heard of this. I don't know what that is. But clearly, this child goes on to say, and other videos about men murdering their wives. He is always... I don't know. To me, that's a huge situation. That on its own. But that's my personal opinion. He's always angry. He is always angry towards my mom, and she never speaks back to him and just cries. Even then, he still attacks her. When my mom and her friends went out with him, all he did was humiliate her in front of everyone, even saying that when he married her, he never loved her but was just fond of her. He gets angry over the slightest things as well, like when my mom's charger broke and she used his, and he flipped out on her, raising his voice for touching stuff that's his. He never even wants to get out of his phone when he is home and mom is away. So me and a sibling have to play the parents and do all of the work and take care of the kids and cook while he is just in his room. On Valentine's Day, we all planned to go out, but he suddenly said, after everyone got ready, that he didn't feel like going anymore. So my mom was trying to persuade him to go and spend time with us. He got mad and started yelling. He even said, and I quote, "I expect obedience from you guys. You say anything, as I am the head of the house." This seems like an abuse of power to me. He even says things like, women deserve to get hit if they talk back. My mom only ever speaks up to him when he's watching demonic videos. I don't know what that means. And listening to cursing. And even then it ends in him yelling with her and him crying. Steven has even said once that he isn't going to listen to whatever you, talking to Kinson, and Pastor Kekel say or preach about, when my mom said that his actions are exactly what you guys preach against. Even getting upset with me, my mom, and another sibling, when they stick up for you both, meaning Kinson and Kekel. He's even said that when mom graduates, which makes me think this text had to be before like May or let's say June or July of 2023. But that's just an educated guess. He's going to take us all and leave far away from here, to which my mom refused, as they haven't been called to go anywhere yet. I can't imagine he had his license. My goodness. And he said that if she doesn't want to go, he's going to take all the money and leave her stranded. He even gets angry when Mom tries to sleep in the same bed with him, saying, "What are you doing in here?" So my mom doesn't even try anymore. My mom's health is not good for this kind of stress, as her heart rate goes up and she starts uncontrollably shaking and gets sick. But he doesn't care and still yells at her, watching her struggle. My mom's trying to teach me what being a Christian is, but he's the very opposite of a Christian man in my eyes. It's hard moving from a house where my dad and stepmom were fighting every day to another home where my mom gets bullied by her husband every day. The only time we can have peace is when he is gone, and that isn't right. So she has 5 children. 2 are not Stephen's. 3 of them are. Kinson said back to Cherie's daughter, "Thank you for sending me this. I'll be in prayer about what to do or what to say. God will lead. We'll definitely talk more, and I'll be a help as much as I possibly can." She said, "He's even said that my mom is too holy and that she will die and go to hell." And he said, "It is so sad when the home is not a place of peace." He's lashing out, but encourage her, and you let her encourage you too. God is able to help, though. I have seen Steve as a good guy before. I do not know what pressure he's under right now. My hope is that Phil is not trying to say here that because of some pressure, he's lashing out and misbehaving, because this has been going on since his first wife, where he's been abusive. Now there are children involved. I do not know what pressure he's under right now, but I know he can do better than this. I'm so sorry you're going through this right now. She says, "My mom does encourage me as she always takes me to the Word and tells me which way we should and shouldn't be like. Thank you for your encouragement as well." He says, "But Jesus loves you, and you did the right thing by bringing this to me. I'll pray, and God will help. Stay encouraged and strong in the Lord." And she said, "Thank you. My mom's testimony helps to encourage me, as there is truth in God's Word. I've known Stephen since I was 5 years old, and he used to be so kind to my mom, but this man is unrecognizable to me now." He said, "Let's pray he can get back to that nice guy. That's the man I used to know. God is able." Then we pick up here at some point where Cherie is texting Kekel, and she says, "Sir, when God is on your side, it makes the entire difference. Just received a job working from home and doing basic marketing type work. He always makes a way, and it will cover rent. My God is faithful. I just need to be still." And Kekel says to her, "Thank Cherie, but I don't need that." I don't know. He must be referring to something previous to that. "I'm not sure why you're doing all this. Seems like you guys could work things out." Now, you're going to hear a lot of stuff. I don't know. I have to be fair. I don't know when he sent this. But it seems like it must have been bad enough that she was having to get work to have rent. This is really worse for the kids. The kids shouldn't even know about all this, but it's a bit late for that. Again, the time frame is unknown, but clearly the kids all along, once you see all the different things, this has been going on for a little while, and they are watching it unfold. How can they not know? So then at some point, I don't know what the distance is from the previous text, Cherie tells Kekel, "Hello, sir. Protection order granted, custody of children given to me." She said they will not change that status, waiting to talk to sheriff about service, and waiting talk to the victim's advocate. After reading everything, she said she's very concerned about our safety, and it's one of the most horrific cases she's had to grant protection for in a long time. They're serving him now. He says to her, I believe this is last December 21st. Hi, C for Cherie. I found this at about 1 a.m. So anyway, where are we on this? I don't think law would be in his favor. You probably don't have to move out. He would. There's no way he would not know where you are. Okay. This seems now to be a few days before the 21st. And Kekel says to her, he's still wrong, but okay. She says, yes, sir, I know he is. I told him last night I'm contemplating separating. I just want to be civil. I'm concerned for his soul, the road he's going down. Wish I could shake him out of it. This is December 17th of last year. Good almost afternoon, sir. I just wanted to say one more thing. I will not file without first checking in with you, and not before the rent situation is resolved. I don't get that. I also will not discuss any of it with him. Right now, he doesn't believe he's wrong or in any trouble. He told me I'm stuck, so just pray through. From what I've learned of his behavior, he will want to do what is needed to act his part. If he realizes that he is told on, he will probably likely do something. Then she writes to Kekel at a different time and says, this is the protection order. And I can see above that there was a copy. I can let you have a copy if you like. I was also going to print you all the proof I have in regards to the adultery, so you have records of that. I know the last name my husband holds, and if any questions arise, I want to be able to have that for you. The last name, Cemento. What does that mean? What, because his parents were in this group a long time? What does that make them? Prince and princess? And their son? I mean, what are they, royalty? But it shows you the mindset of the respect, the revering, even when you've been suffering in your children. So then Kekel says to her, okay, nothing needed for now. Do mom and dad know? Meaning his parents. She says, okay, sir. No, sir. They are still gone, out of town, it sounds like. He may have called them by today. As for me, I haven't spoke to them. Mom knows all that has been going on for years. Yeah, she has. Since the first marriage, she knows. Davis knew. The Cementos knew. Who knew it and when? That really makes me upset. And she has seen me in tears at what I thought was my breaking points and her health. Don't forget, when I first looked on her Facebook page after she was divorced, she had a new page. She was commenting on how her hair was growing in after wearing a wig because she had cancer. She knew it was coming to this. She knew. Cherie believes his mom knew. I did not have the heart to tell her anything from the adultery. Like, she didn't even tell her that part yet. So on December 22nd, Cherie tells Kekel, he opened a new account and shut me out of the other. I'm currently at the court finishing this divorce paperwork and filing. I then have to speak with DCS and some other advocacy person. Kekel says, okay. On December 25th, she wishes him a Merry Christmas. Then on a particular day, I don't know when, Kekel asks her, hi sis, how you guys doing? The Cementos are home, so we know it follows those other texts where he asks her, do they know yet? That makes it sound like it was just last December. And Stephen has told them they are blocked from talking to you. Either way, they need to know what's going on. And she says to him, we had a very good day. No, they aren't blocked from talking to us. He is. I will talk to mom in the morning and clear everything up with her, sir. Then she says a little bit later, tried calling, they're not answering. Most likely believe him. meaning they're not answering. They know it's her. They are believing his side of things, even though she's known what where her son has been since the first marriage. And then Kekel says to her, "Can you print her a copy of the docs?" And she says, "Yes, I can. I just tried to speak with them, and Dad met me at the door. The elder Cemento said I couldn't come in. I said, 'Pastor, let me know you were home.' I wanted to," I would imagine she's saying, talk to them. So Cherie tells Kekel, I can make her copies of everything. I have no problem doing that, sir." Then he says, "Right, sounds like a plan. Their attitude will change some once you show them the cheating stuff." Their attitude will change some. Why did he put some in there? Their attitude will change some, meaning are they harboring something against her, even though they've known all along? A woman who's had cancer and who knows what? Their attitude will change some once you show them the cheating stuff. Like all the other stuff, the hitting, the abuse, the kids, but show them the cheating stuff. Well, let's see if that's true. If their attitude will change some. She says, "Yes, sir, I will try again tomorrow." The next day, she writes to Kekel, "I just spoke with Mom, explained everything to her. I told her he can't have contact, that they're more than welcome and I don't want to keep them from the kids. I also let her know that if she would like copies of the proof of him cheating and the proof of his abuse, I can give that to her. She said she wants to pray." I wonder if we know anything about what happened when Dorothy Cemento prayed about it. What did she do? What was the result? What did God tell her? So we have here a text screenshot. I don't know if this is from last June. And the text says, "Mom, Dad is making fun of the one little son." Crying emoji, I don't know why. And then it says, "Don't say nothing." And there's lots of shh emoji. So then there's this screenshot of a text between one of the kids and Cherie. And it looks like Cherie was telling the one child, "Throw trash away." And that one said, "Okay." Then came back with, "No, Dad is here, no." I don't know if it means I don't want to take the garbage out because he's here, or if he's there all of a sudden. And then you can see down below where it shows that Cherie disliked "Dad is here." Then what we have here is the thing that hopefully will cause the Cementos to change their attitude some about their son. So this site is called Local Flirt. Looks like Mr. Cemento has 11 messages up in the corner there. Right now, he's online with Small but Feisty, and that person says to him, "Are you that aggressive type that when you see me in front of you, you'll get so naughty right away?" And he says, "Ha ha ha, oh yeah, we might not be able to wait till we get home. You know, they got a slot on here for public sex." And she says, "Oh wow, have you?" And he's with this same person. He shares his picture and says, "This is me, in case you were wondering." And that, I think, is a very similar picture to the one he has on his Facebook page now. And she says, "Oh, I am indeed wondering, and thank you for sending me a pic of you. You look very," I don't know what. Then on a different time, I don't know if it's the same time because there's still 11 messages up there in the corner. Tan Girl says, "Oh, gotcha. Tell me, do we need to be discreet then?" And he says, "Just pick a place. Oh, I would love to see a pic of your back end maybe even your front hole. She says, well, I do have something to show to you. Can you wait for it? To the same girl, he says, don't worry about it. I'm married too. Just tell me when and where. However, I don't want to waste a bunch of credits in time. I guess that's how that works on this site. Talking on here and trying to get to know people. I would just love to F a married stranger, even if it's at your house or in front of your husband. Look like, meaning the person looks like a person who would like to have their brains effed out. And I have, and we don't know what he has. Then, and this is very typical of men who abuse, is they try to come around and apologize. That's why the women stay. Oh, they have hope that something will change. So he says to her, you know, someday maybe we can actually be husband and wife and have a loving relationship. Regardless, I love you and I really want a beautiful relationship with you. You have gotten a bit cold. I wonder why. But I still love you anyway. He loves her anyway. I really hope you have a beautiful evening. She says, I will never understand how you can find everything and everyone else to blame instead of taking accountability for the roles you play in people's lives, the hurt. It's like you have blinders on, never realizing the damage caused or even acknowledging the fact that how you treat others affects them. So she says, I'm very sorry. And I don't know what there's probably a disconnect here of the conversation. She says, I'm very sorry. I'm a bit emotional today. Had a remembrance of you putting your mouth on another woman, and it set my entire morning up. I just really need you to pray for me. She needs the adulterer to pray for her, the abuser to pray for her. This is an abusive relationship. Like it's showing all of the signs. Not just, this woman is not just in her home, but then in the broader scope, in the church. You're going to apologize for everything and you did nothing wrong? Or what, we all play a part, all right? Let's say we all maybe overreact or something happens, but in an abusive relationship and somebody's cheating, what do you have to apologize for? It can be maybe too spiritual for your own good. I don't know. I don't know where her head was. I'm very sorry. Okay, so I just really need you to pray for me as I pray for the able spirit of forgiveness for myself. I'm hurt more by what you told me than I initially thought. Of course. How can you even look at that person the same again? Bye-bye. There's the door. There is the door. Don't let it hit you where the good Lord split you. Or maybe it just should. Please allow me time to deal with it and be able to forgive. He says, wow, I'm so sorry. I never thought it would do that to you. Okay, this is a person. What kind of person is this, people? Seriously. What kind of person? And what kind of person defends this kind of person? I really thought everything was good. That's why I wasn't trying to hide anything from you. Oh, he's so honorable. So honorable. And she says, it really messed me up. I apologize. I don't see where she owes an apology. Of course, I have limited information, don't I? She doesn't owe him an apology. He says, I love you with all my heart. You really do mean everything to me. You got a funny way of showing it, man. She says, I love you too. I just want you to be the best you can be, without other women, without porn, without anything else, but with God. Your family loves you. We can make this work. It'll take time, but we can do this with Him, with God. He gives her the Fonzie thumbs up, hey, for sure. She says, I forgive you. Now let's do this the right way. Oh, Cherie. Okay, we go on here. and read some things that were in the filings. And this says, even if the restrained person does not have firearms now, has the restrained person ever used firearms, other weapons or objects to threaten or harm you? The answer is yes. If yes, describe what happened. He told me I was a rebellious wife because I did not want to sleep in his bedroom after an argument, and proceeded to block my way of movement down our hallway. I put my kids in the room closest to me and tried to shut the door, which he put his foot in the way so it could not shut, and told me I was going to hell. When I asked him to move and tried to shut the door, he said he could grab a weapon and kill me and no one would know. How could no one know that he could kill someone and not even think twice? And if this is true, if any of this is true, everyone should be on high alert around this guy, and I hope he's getting the mental help he needs. I hope his family, if they won't admit publicly what's going on for decades, he will commit the crime again. Mark my words. No one has to be an authority in anything to figure that out. That's just, it's going to happen. I then stomped on his foot and quickly slammed the door shut and locked it. He proceeded to bang on the door until I called his mother and my pastor, in which he took my youngest son and spent the night at his mother's, which is in the same home on the other side of the hallway door. When I asked for the son to be returned, his mother, the elder Cemento, Dorothy Cemento, said, "Oh, just let him have him for the night and let's all just go to bed." I did not get the son returned that night as they locked their side of the door with Steve and the son over there. Another incident that's written about here, it says the most recent event concerning myself was this morning, December 2024. He woke me up trying to take my phone to transfer money to his account. He then tripped over the sleeping children trying to find my phone. In order to protect the peace, I did as he asked, with him standing over me and ordering me to move $1,000 into his account. This money was supposed to be used for rent. The most recent incident concerning the safety of my children was Saturday, December 14th, 24. I was not home as I attend church functions that morning and evening. My oldest daughters told me when I returned home that he had screamed and held our mentally challenged son in the air while one of them tried to free him from Stephen. Stephen was yelling in the young child's face and told one of the other children not to console him. Our other children, blank and blank, were both scared and ran to close themselves in their room with their oldest sister, blank. One of the other children sat with the youngest who had been held until he stopped crying as Steve slammed the door to go in his room. Another incident, there has been threats of leaving me destitute and taking custody of the children. He has thrown chairs at me, spit in my face, taken my phone so I could not call for help, hidden my car keys, left us without means to buy toiletries or food. He's threatened me in front of our children, thrown items at them. He has forced me to be intimate with him while menstruating to relieve himself. He has forced me to be in the room while he watched porn and used me as means to relieve himself. He has threatened my life. He has thrown items at the children and threatened them with harm as well. He verbally attacks us all. He has pushed and kicked our daughter. He has been so angry at times. Our youngest daughter is waiting for therapy due to having anxiety at 7 years old. The minor children say they do not feel safe if I'm not home with them. This is a testimony by one of the children from December 20th of last year, to whom it may concern. When I first moved down here to live with my mom, it seemed like everything was fine and normal. I don't know when that was. The longer I stayed and adjusted to the life here, the more I was able to see and find out for myself. Stephen is controlling, easily angered, and lies like no other, yet he seems to over time lie so much that he believes it himself. There was one day he was angry at something with my mom. I can't really remember what the topic was exactly, but it wasn't anything to go to that extent he did. He continued to yell at her even when the kids were all in the room watching him with fear. I had to step in between and put my arm out to block him from getting closer to my mom, afraid that he would do something more. He was screaming things like, "Who do you think you are? You're evil." And my little sister spoke up to him and screamed, "No, you're evil." And he started to get closer to her, throwing a crayon in her direction and calling her rebellious and how she shouldn't talk back to him like that. My mom eventually just left the room, unable to handle his uncontrollable yelling, and I was the last to exit the room, proceeding to tell him to go to bed. Even my youngest brother, who doesn't all understand his dad's actions, said, "Daddy, scary." When Mom is not home, he's either in his room all day, isolating himself, or out in the living room getting mad at the kids for small things, such as accidentally spilling water or food. Or my mentally challenged brother, not understanding situations and getting into crying fits due to that. He shows no patience or love, just anger, and thinking that hitting him is going to somehow make him understand, that yelling at him is going to help something. One of the other children wrote this on December 20th of last year. "To whom it may concern, he has kicked me out of anger. He has thrown a crayon at me out of anger. He told Mom to die and go to hell when he was angry. He yells at my brother for no reason, but tries to play everything off when we're in front of people to seem like he's a good," I think it meant to say a good dad. There's a picture here of the little one and the bruise on his arm. Okay, so this is from April 7th. I don't know if it's last year maybe, but this is to Kinson from one of the children. They say, "Hi, Pastor. I just wanted to tell you something that happened literally 2 minutes ago. Stephen got mad at one of the children for his attitude because he was crying, and Mom told him to calm down, so he went in the room and started throwing stuff around. We could all hear it. So Mom went in to tell him to stop, and he started yelling at her, telling her that she has such a mouth and that she's evil. All of the kids were watching by the door. One of the kids jumped in to protect Mom, me as well, using my arm to shield her from him as he was yelling in her face, and one of the kids told him to stop yelling, and he got mad and started yelling at that child, pointing his finger in her face and just screaming that she shouldn't be talking and that she's acting rebellious. I told that we are just trying to protect our mom and for him to stop yelling at them. I told that we are just trying to protect our mom and for him to stop yelling at them. Now the one child is shaking and crying. I'm shaking and tearing up, and one of the other children is also crying and shaking, and another one even saying that he is scary. I know you're probably enjoying conference, and I don't want to ruin that for you, but I don't know who else to tell this to. I really don't feel safe with him around." Kinson said, "Okay, I'm on it, posting as I'm here at conference. Praying as I'm here at conference. I'm talking with Reverend Kekel. So Reverend and Sis Kekel are very aware and will see for sure. I'm sorry for this. It's not good at all." She said, "Thank you, sir. I really appreciate it. I don't know how long my mom has had to go through this, but having to see it myself is really unsettling." He said, "Yes, well," and I guess maybe he was speak texting that, but basically he's saying that he's hoping he'll pray and hope he does the right thing, can be said, and he can get to God again. She says, "Yes, sir. That's what my mom keeps saying as well. He just needs to get to God again, and we have to keep praying for him. My mom is really just too strong to say she's scared." And Kinson said, "And Pastor Kekel just told me he is going to deal with him. So hold your peace and keep strong. Yes, she's very strong and we're praying, but a family should not endure that fear, but especially a Christian family. It's not right, and we're proud of you for telling it all." August 17th. I don't know which August, maybe last year. Hello, Pastor. Bad news. Sorry. Stephen is back to his ways again. He apologized, but obviously didn't mean it. He hasn't talked to my mom in 4 days, and honestly, with as not nice as it sounds, it's been the most peaceful days we've had. Today my mom was taking all the kids to go and do Uber deliveries to get her own money, since he gets angry with her every time she spends his money, when all she buys is food and diapers. When all the kids were getting ready to go, he tried to make the one child choose a side for no reason on why she wants to go, on who she wants to go with. She started to cry before picking to be with Mom because he started to get angry with Mom again right in front of all of the kids. He tries to put on this image of a family man at church and in public, but that's not who he is. He is just greedy for money, as that's all he cares about, apparently. If being a part of that trading group some people are going to is enough proof. Trading group, that's interesting. But he's been watching those inappropriate videos and talking to girls online at his work after hours when he should be home, unknowing that Mom can see all of what he's searching and watching. I know this isn't good to say, but I honestly believe our family could be a lot happier if he wasn't in it, since it seems he can't change how he acts and care for his family's well-being. I continue to pray and hope he will change, but I don't know if he will, since all his apologies seem to be fake. And honestly, the only reason my mom was sick the way she was a few weeks ago was because my mom was doing so much, and stress from him made her nerves go crazy and end up sick. Now that she's better, he's trying to make her go back to a wheelchair. I keep him in prayer to keep myself at peace, but it's hard when the devil is in our house trying to do something. Kinson said to her, I'll pray. He'll need to be talked to. I'm glad you reached out. Yes, I'll be praying because she doesn't need all that stress, but Mom needs support, and she keeps on going because all you kids need her so much. That's perfectly right. I mean, she needs someone there to intervene right away, though, too. Thank you, sir. I'll keep praying, too. I know God will help her and make known what's going on, no matter how much Stephen tries to make my mom seem like the bad guy. And he says, okay, yes, we'll see. Whoever this child is, the young girl that's writing to Kinson, I just want to hug her. All of them. She says to him, Pastor, please keep us in your prayers. This morning my mom was in the car to practice her song, and she told the kids to not ride their bikes in church clothes. And I don't know what got Stephen so mad, but he started punching Mom's car and the window where she was sitting, and took the kids to walk to church when it's not even time. And then Mom told one of the kids to use the bathroom before going, and he was running back to Mom, but Stephen snatched his arm and pulled him along, saying, don't worry about it. And now my mom is sitting in the car crying before church. There's not even any reason for him to be mad at her, as it should be the other way around, since last night he came home at 3 a.m. after doing who knows what. Kinson said, this is not good at all. The last time I found out your mom had already been in contact with Pastor Kekel. He knew all about it. That's why I only was so involved. Like, maybe just he acquiesced to Kekel. I'm glad you told me about it, and I'll make sure he knows also if I have time this morning when I see him. If I have time... He said, I'll make sure he knows also if I have time. Oh, if I have time this morning when I see him. That should be the only thing you go do. The Lord knows. Keep the faith. You see what's right and keep your eyes on that. I'll reach out to your mom. And last time, Pastor Kekel spoke directly to Steve, so we'll see. Thank you. It's just hard for her, me and one of the kids, to feel safe living here with him. The younger kids see his behavior but can't understand that it's wrong since they're too young. And he said, I know, and I know you feel it, but I'm glad we'll see you in a few minutes and the Lord will help. And she said, God is still good, I remember that. He said, amen, and you see the difference, and that helps a lot. And so, those are some of the documents and things. Those kids. Why is he walking around? I know we get upset about the justice system. Sometimes there isn't justice. Who will intervene here? Who will intervene? Who will truly not worry about the name of an organization, not worry about the last name of two old people who've been there a long time? Who cares? Are they the king and queen or something? Who cares? How many people have ignored it for decades with this guy? And has he gotten help? I don't even know what else to say. So I have 2 more videos to go in this little series thing in replaying. And I think tomorrow what I'm going to do is I kind of gave a preview. It's probably been weeks now about a church here in South Carolina, just south of where I live, Pawleys Island. And it's called, what's it called? Pawleys Island Community Church or something. I forget. I don't have it in front of me, but the deal was, I believe it's an independent church. Let me just show you. This is the thing to me. So when I watched the video that came out, this is what happened. The pastor and his wife, and they have like a day school there. The head of that, they all knew that a man that had been working there for a while was a registered sex offender. They knew it. And they went ahead and gave him a job. He was around children. There's pictures as proof and everything. I forget what the reason is. As I put the next video together about that, I will supply that information. But I think it was a parent. Something came up and they checked the registry, and there was the janitor guy. I believe that's what he did. So she was outraged, and apparently the pastor and his wife knew, they were involved in all kinds of ways with this guy's life. And they never told the parents. They never told the church members so that they could keep their children safe and make a decision to go there or not. And so it's a huge thing. It's all over the internet. If you haven't seen it yet, I'm surprised. But if you're on a page that covers, like for me, I told you, I see the dreck, the parade of dreck that's being arrested in churches all the time for money fraud, for abuse, for sexual offenders of children. It's just on and on and on. And when I saw the video, so what happened was, I guess the pastor, and he's not part of a corporation, so, if you don't want to stay in the corporation, or if you don't want Mike to be in charge anymore, too bad, so sad, it's his corporation. Now, if he were to be arrested for something, then that's different, but why would you even want to stay in a place where there's things going on that shouldn't be? And I have shared in the past about abusers of children who were allowed to come back. And did they let people know that, hey, this guy, he did such and such. He's on the registry in NTCC. And so this hit home when I saw this, and I thought, So what this pastor did, this weak-bellied pastor, is he got up in front of the church congregation in public and the news media, and he just read a statement. He didn't respond to anybody. He was just reading a legal statement. Well, let me play this video and you'll see. This would never happen in NTCC because even Mike in July 2nd, and when I go through more from that service, because that was a string of crazy stuff that he said, you're not to question the pastors. You're not to question them. No. And we've heard that time and time again. That's nothing new. But it juxtaposed against these people who were demanding answers and, of course, not going back, but they want them to be arrested. And they were. The pastor, his wife, the dean of the school, and I believe one or two other people so far. But Georgetown County in South Carolina, they're taking it quite seriously. And I'm glad when I see that, because that's what needs to happen for the sake of children. If you conceal and you cover up, what should await you? What should your fate be? Because it's not just the person that committed the crimes. It's there's the person who committed the acts, and then there's the ones who cover up. And could you ever imagine the assembly of believers? This is the way it's supposed to be according to the New Testament, gathered together and demanding of those who claim to be the shepherds, the pastors, to account for their actions, for accountability, for transparency. It wouldn't happen. It would not happen. They would have the ushers show you to the door. This place, it's just the opposite. The parents, they want answers. They're not getting any because the guy's just standing there reading a statement. Both are cowards. The bully is a coward and this guy's a coward. They're fine when they want to conceal. But if you find out and you dare to question, you're evil, you're wicked. And this is not the long version. This is just the quick news outlet version.
Continuing to follow the arrest of a Murrells Inlet registered sex offender volunteering his time near children at a South Strand church. Thanks for joining us for WMBF News at 11 o'clock. I'm Eric Weisfeld.
And I'm Nicole Dantzler. Tonight, family showed up to a meeting held at the church where he volunteered and things got tense. To say the least, the Georgetown County Sheriff says Warren Perry violated the conditions of his probation in a 2023 sexual exploitation of a minor conviction for a crime committed in 2020. Perry worked as a maintenance man around children at Pawleys Island Community Church, which also houses an elementary school, pre-K, and nursery. Former school staff tell us Perry began working in the building around 2021 and interacted with students regularly. A former teacher claims when they brought up Perry's past to school leadership, including Pastor Don Williams and Academy Director Nikki Howard, they were told the leadership was already aware.
Trust will have to be rebuilt through transparency.
You are not transparent. You're reading the handbook. You still let a pedophile around our kids.
And as you can hear, emotions were high at the meeting as families demanded accountability.
Our Gianni Peterson was there. So, Gianni, this was a quick session.
That's right, Eric. There was no time for parents to ask questions or voice their concerns. Pastor Williams was on stage explaining the situation, and parents, churchgoers, and teachers were not happy.
It needs to be closed down. It needs to be burned.
From the beginning, emotions were high tonight as Pastor Don Williams promised transparency, but most in attendance weren't buying it.
Lies, zero accountability. I mean, do you anything you want to add to that?
Lies and
zero accountability.
Yeah.
Our kids deserve better.
And the alleged lies, according to parents, start with Warren Perry's contact with the kids at the school.
We have pictures of when he's been at water day and field day with our children. In bathing suits, he's always around. I've seen him at pickup. Not too long ago, he was getting a hula hoop out of the tree for the kids. And to me, that is contact with a minor.
Eliza Perez has been at the forefront, speaking out as a teacher within the school as soon as she found out. She says it's what any parent or teacher would do, even if it's against a place that was so close to her heart.
I trusted these people with my own life, my children's life, my students' life. I would have never in a million years thought that this is where we would be. Never.
No, the teachers did not know.
Pastor Don Williams says going forward, the church and academy will be doing thorough background checks on volunteers, but parents are still questioning why that wasn't already the case.
Now we're going to start screening volunteers. That's interesting that you weren't doing that before.
And many parents believe this session wouldn't happen if the truth wasn't uncovered.
He had no emotion. He was reading from a script. He thought that he was just doing what he was supposed to do because they got caught. This has been going on since 2023, and only because people have spoken up, this meeting has happened.
Meanwhile, teachers and parents believe this whole situation is far from over.
We've exposed children from 3 completely different schools to a pedophile that they were completely unwilling. Their parents were just looking for an aftercare option. The scope of this, I feel like we're just getting started. There's so much more to this that will come out.
It's a situation where many believe there are no winners.
I mean, the losers in this are the parents, the children, and the teachers who have come to their morals and said peace out.
Eric and Nicole, that was a general consensus amongst everyone I spoke with. Many saying they'll no longer associate with the church or school in the future.
A lot has happened since the middle of July when this all took place, and I'll be covering some of that because there are parallels that can be drawn. And it turns out it wasn't that there were no background checks and the pastor and his wife and the head of the school didn't know. They did know. They did know. So it doesn't matter if a church or nursery runs background checks on workers or ministers or anyone that comes into the church around children. It depends on what the leadership does with that knowledge. Stay tuned.